Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Airing Austin YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV shows, and other forms of media. Today we're discussing the movie It Lives Inside. Just came out today, September 22nd, although I saw it yesterday on September 21st. The film was directed by Pishach and also written by him as well, and I just gotta say, this movie took me by surprise. I was dreading going into this film. About a quarter of the way through this, I ended up actually enjoying myself. They spoke the Hindi language. They actually were Hindu and they practiced Hinduism, and I thought that was very just culturally cool and a lot more interesting actually than Blue Beetle. I was able to relate to the characters and understand what they believed in and just how their family dynamics worked, and I thought it was just very compelling in terms of storytelling. The plot follows this character known as Samidha. She's your pretty average typical high school girl, and we experience her life as she has this fallout between her and her best friend. She's trying to be cool, she's trying to get to know these other groups of people. Meanwhile, her best friend is dealing with a literal demon, not a figurative demon, a literal demon, which then in turn comes back to haunt Samidha, and that is the basis of this film. They are experiencing this haunting, and they need to figure out how to not only survive this, but how to get rid of this demonic presence. We've seen vampires, we've seen werewolves, we've even seen wendigos, but this time we are experiencing the Pishach, a flesh-eating demon known throughout Hindu culture. And that is just one of the many facets of this film that just draws in the audience, is the Hindu background. You learn a lot about the culture, the way they interact with their family, the way they interact with other people. I just found it so very fascinating. It's not just a horror film, it's also a coming-of-age movie. And if you guys know me, I love coming-of-age movies, and by the end of this movie, everything just kind of comes full circle, especially with the kids. And it's not only the high schoolers, it's their parents too, and I just loved that, because in the beginning of this movie, the parents, the background characters, they are all made to believe to be your typical tropey horror characters that are just in the background. They don't believe in the main character, and they kind of just let them die off one by one. But these characters, they were presented that way, and then later down the line, they subvert your expectations and do something else entirely that drives the plot forward. And I just loved how all the characters were able to interact with each other, and all in the meanwhile learning from one another and being able to find out a resolution between them and this literal demon trying to come after them and kill them. A lot of people are saying that this film is boring, it's pedantic, and that we've seen this before. However, I have to argue, yes, we have seen attributes from this film in other movies before, but it borrows those attributes and puts a little spin on it. It's stunning. It subverts expectations more so than Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Sorry. Honestly, I can see how a lot of people may get bored by this movie. Horror fans, they don't like slow. They like, let's get into the action, let's see some kills. But this movie, as well as other horror movies that I personally enjoy, I love the fact that they set up these characters. We see these dialogue exchanges, we get to know them, and then we get to see them, I guess, get ripped apart later down the line. I actually like to care about my characters. I like to add some weight to the movie, but I just can't help but feel that some people are missing out in this movie, and meanwhile, they're wasting their time watching Expendables, or however you pronounce that movie's title. And since we're on the topic of cons and whatnot, this movie actually doesn't have a lot for me. I do have a few nitpicks per se, and that's to say they're moments and not entire scenes, which is something that's new for me. Usually it's like, okay, well, this entire scene could have just been cut out of the movie. But realistically, with this film, there were just several key moments that I thought, okay, that didn't really make sense with the setup. Where are we going with this? Spoiler alert, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to back out. All right, you still with me? Okay, well, again, spoiler alert, but there's a scene in the movie that sets up the fact that this creature only attacks civilians who actually help out Samidha. And when her father comes home, who knows absolutely nothing about the situation, he just gets straight up attacked. It just doesn't really make any sense. Why does this monster not just go after literally everyone all the time? Why set up these rules just to later break them down the line? But that was really the only instance it happened. I can see how some people may argue that he was helping out Samidha, his daughter. And then the other big scene I didn't really like so much was the boyfriend makeout session on the swings. Just kind of felt very uncomfortable for me. He forces a kiss on her, takes a puff of his cigarette and blows it in her face, and then asks to kiss her again. And then meanwhile, like 5 seconds later, he gets ragdolled, and I do not care that his character dies, so there's that character. But yeah, no, I think that's honestly it in terms of my cons for this film. There is a lot of spoken Hindi in this film. So yes, there are subtitles for those of you who don't like subtitles, and for those of you who are missing out on films such as Parasite. You guys just gotta learn to appreciate subtitles. I cannot stress enough on how great these movies are that you're missing out on. So appreciate subtitles, watch some anime, you can adapt, you can learn. I did it, you can do it too. Shockingly, very surprising, very good movie. I would have to honestly give it my Aaron Austin stamp of approval. Go check this one out in theaters. Go give it a lot of love, because I want to see some more movies like this that focus on other cultures and bring out some more relevance with characters. I want to see more of that in my movies. Thank you everyone so much for watching my review on It Lives Inside. I had a blast with this movie and I highly recommend it. If you guys want to go watch some other movie reviews, they're somewhere on the screen. It does help out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys like the video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. Have you seen the movie? Are you guys interested? Or are you guys planning on watching any other horror films this spooky season? Let me know in the comments down below. My name's Austin, and I'll see you guys in the next one.